Minibus, konbanwa, genki desu ka? I hope you are well. I hope this Tuesday evening finds you all safe and well with your families. And welcome to Tuesday night again. I am getting longer in hair, longer in beard, and my hamstring is still a little bit tight from my injury last Thursday. But we're going to have a kind of basic Kihon type lesson this evening, which can be adapted into kumite, but not tonight, because I can't move quickly enough to do that. So we're going to do it nice and slow. So basic blocks, basic punches, and building into a combination immediately, okay, but a relatively easy one that everyone will be able to follow, and then making it slowly, progressing slowly, layering up, and making it more and more complicated by hopefully the end of the evening, which will be around 8 o'clock. So there are a number of stages to this particular lesson. So the focus really is on your Kihon, your basic technique, your blocks in particular, and tonight we're doing Agyuki, Soto-ryuki, Uchi-ryuki, Giranbarai, okay, and also your punches. And I think one thing that I've mentioned quite a few weeks ago, possibly at the beginning of the whole COVID outbreak, and pretty much every night since, is Enbusen, okay, your performance line. Now, whenever I point on my performance line, it's what I can see straight in front of me. Whenever I go to camera, that might not be quite central to the camera, to you, but it is to me. So I want to make sure that you understand that when we're training, the Enbusen is your performance line, not mine, not the camera's. It's you as you train, and only you can see that. Only you can see that. So what we mean by that is where are you going? Where are you attacking? So if I'm at the front here, this is my Enbusen, okay? And if I'm looking this way, then it will be here. If I'm 45 degrees, it will be here and here, etc., etc. So we're going to be very much focusing on that this evening. We're going to be changing direction quite a bit as well. You need about 1 metre square around you. I don't think you need anything really much bigger than that. Depends how tall you are. So Jonathan might need a couple of metres. But the rest of us, you should be able to do this in a relatively small space. Okay, so not to worry too much about that. So the warm-up this evening is going to be very brief because I can't do a huge amount because of my hamstring, but we're going to just do a very quick sort of arms warm-up and a little bit of a stretch to help me out, and then we'll get the lesson going. And we'll obviously be saying hello to a few people as well once we've done that. So let's do a quick warm-up, okay? So everybody, ready? Os. Hey, ayoi. Okay, so just relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your hands, and just shaking the hands. Okay, and then your wrists, and then your elbows, and your shoulders. Now you might look like you're doing the funky chicken, but what you're also doing is learning how to control your body and not tense it, so you can just relax. Okay, so you don't let these like rigid, make them relax, so everything moves. Okay, so just taking shoulders up and down. Like so, relax. Okay, bring your arms up and let them go, and up, and down, and up, and down, and up, and down. We in karate need to use gravity to its greatest effect to help us sink down, be strong going, lowering our stances, etc., etc. So it's important to learn how to control your body. Okay, again, so arms up and lean over to your left, which remember in Japanese is hidari, and over to your right, which is migi. And back, and forwards. Yep, I can feel my hamstring really tightening at that point, so just got to be easy with that. Okay, take your right arm and cross, relax your shoulder, yeah, relax everything, just let it pull nice and tight and hold. And then do the same with your left arm. Again, relax the shoulder. Just pull the elbow round, go to the end, and then just relax the joint. Okay, good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10. So are you looking as you do this in Kimein, which you shouldn't be? Just let it relax. Okay, good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, and to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10. And up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, and so forward, side and up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10. And relax. Okay, so front stance, Zenkutsudachi. Okay, so just again, naturally let your weight drop down. Okay, don't force your knee one way or the other. Don't force your knee too much forwards. Just natural. Natural, let gravity take its control over you and drop down. And then turn the other way. So we've just had a huge rainstorm here for the last 15 minutes. It's been really chucking it down, and now we've got beautiful clear blue skies again. Not sure what it's doing in Potton, Sandy or Gamingay. I only know Clifton. And then back to the front. And one more behind. Okay, so now just hips round. And back the other way. Okay, and then for my benefit, a hamstring stretch. Yeah, that's not right. And the other one. Okay, so I can assure you one thing tonight, there's no kicking whatsoever. Okay, so just a very brief stretch. Okay, I'm not doing, as I said previously, huge amounts of time on warm-ups because I'd like to be more active in terms of our learning, and we can do warm-ups on our own. I've been stretching before I started, as I usually do. Okay, so Kyotsuke, please straighten your gi and obi. And Kyotsuke. So Musubadachi, heels together, toes pointing out, hands by your side. And bowing, right, us. Excellent, us. So welcome, good evening. Let's quickly say hello to a few people. Got a couple of people who are watching, which is great, as always, otherwise I feel way on my own. Good evening both Andy Senseis, good evening Zach and Christian Sensei, good evening Wayne, and good evening Ewan. Top fan Isaac, you are a top fan, you come up on my screen, it says top fan. Excellent, that's cool. And Thomas is also a top fan. Ken Sensei is a top fan. In fact, you lot are all top fans, thank you very much. Good evening Harry, good evening Huxtable clan. Yes, we're sort of okay. Well, the family's great, I'm just broken. Good evening Sensei Sharon. Good evening Kayla, hope you're well. Good evening Robot Dojo. And you've now got heavy rain. I know it's clear and lovely, yes, so yeah. Okay, you don't live that far from me, I'm sure. So hopefully where you are, it's clearing up if you have had a lot of rain. So what we're going to do this evening is focus on those 4 blocks and then focus on a total of 3 punches, okay, throughout the progression of the evening. And that's it. So quite simply, stance-wise, Zenkutsudachi, so front stance. Okay, so as I said before, front stance, I've just done a video of this actually for our beginners Shotokan karate series that I'm doing on YouTube. About the stance again should be natural, so it shouldn't be too wide and it shouldn't be too long. Okay, and this is really important. So when we are lower grades, so maybe coloured belts, we are told by our sensei to be really, really low, and that's to build strength in our legs, and that is correct. You'll see the black belts will rise up slightly, not huge amounts, they're not standing upright, but they have then on the next level of learning. So they've learned how to make their legs nice and strong and their technique powerful, okay, and then they learn the next part, which is making it faster. And to be faster, you need to make your stance slightly shorter. Okay, so not too long when you're doing this, and not too tall. Make sure you are doing Zenkutsudachi. Okay, so there's 3 phases to this evening's lesson. Number 1 will be the basic version, number 2 will be an addition onto that of a technique or 2, and then number 3 will be a more challenging version for sort of higher grades. So, you know, I'd say phase 1, most white belts right the way through to yellow belt could do that comfortably once we've practiced it. Phase 2 will be more green and purple belt, and I think again you'll be fine with that once we've practiced it a few times, and then maybe brown belts and above would be the 3rd phase. But I don't want white belts to think they can't do the 3rd phase. Everyone can do it because everyone can have a go. And it's really, really important to understand in karate. It's just about having a go. I remember going on a course as I think I was an orange belt if I remember correctly, with a famous sensei, and he taught us a kata called Nijushiho, which is one of the most challenging, difficult katas, that the black belts will tell you this, that we do. And I learned that as an orange belt at a course. I completely forgot it as soon as I went home, but actually when I started learning it as a higher grade, I remember bits. So that exposure to it was really, really helpful. And in fact, I did lots of courses and had that kind of exposure. So it's good practice to do some of these more challenging techniques. And it doesn't matter what level you are. Now, Holly-sun has just dropped. I hope she's not dead. She's just flopped to the side of me, so we might see her make an appearance. But she's had a walk today, so she looks a bit tired. But she is in the dojo with me, so we'll hopefully see her later on. Okay, so Ray. So Yoi. Okay, so just natural stance, hachi-dachi, open leg stance, part of the Shizentai. Your first technique then, Yoi position for agi-uki. Okay, so we know here not to now tense our shoulders, to relax our shoulders. And we're going to step back agi-uki. Like so. Everything we're going to do is nice and slow this evening. And then technique 2 will be an oizuki. Okay? And then yame. So we're going to teach this, or I'm going to teach this, as both techniques being one. Okay, so it's a block punch combination. Okay? And you're going to do 4 variants of it, if that makes sense in a moment. So Yoi. I step back agi-uki. Yoi position, ich. Okay, and step forward, oizuki ni. So remember your performance line. Yeah, mine is dead where I need it to be. It might not show that on the camera because I never really know with 3 lenses where I'm looking at, to be perfectly honest. And the image I've got of myself is a 10-second delay, so it's a little bit confusing. So I go to my own Minibus. You should do this too. Okay, then yame. So once more. Yoi position for agi-uki, drop your shoulders, tuck your elbow in, not like this, okay, so you have good form. Step back, agi-uki, upper rising block, okay. Hips are now hand-me, half facing, and then we step forward, oizuki. Our hips are square, and our punch is square, our shoulders are low, not up like this. So here, and back. And this is going to be our returning point, okay? Our Yoi position is going to be our returning point when we do these 4 different combinations. Okay, so we're going to always come back to this point. So it's like a reset, okay? So you can think of this as a combination of individual, no, a combination of combinations. There you go, makes more sense to me. You'll see what I mean in a minute. So once more, before we move on to technique 2, agi-uki ich, and oizuki ni. Come back up, reset, look to your left. Step back, soto-ryuki ich, oizuki ni. And back. Now I appreciate I'm probably going out of camera shot for that bit. Okay, so I will move slightly to further away from camera to see if I can get more of it in. But it's just an agi-uki oizuki and udi-uki, soto-ryuki oizuki. Okay, so ready? Step back, upper rising block ich. Step forward, front punch, oizuki ni. Ayame reset, look to your left, step back, soto-ryuki ich, and oizuki ni. And come back to the front and reset. Okay, so you're going to go forwards, front, okay, and then side, yoko. Side. Forwards, agi-uki, okay, sorry, backwards agi-uki, forwards oizuki, backwards soto-ryuki, okay, and forwards oizuki. So once more, Yoi position. This position here, step back, ich, and step forward, ni. Ayame, back to this position, reset, look, and punch. And back. We must look before we move. Okay, otherwise you won't know you're blocking or punching towards your embusen. So, pointless, in other words. Okay, so once more. Agi-uki ich, oizuki ni. Yoi position, look, soto-ryuki ich, oizuki ni. Yoi position. Okay, so this refocus, okay, you need to, can you believe this, that Siri is giving me grief again. If it's not Alexa, it's Siri, isn't it, in my house? So we need to, this reset is there for a purpose, okay, to reconfigure the brain into what we're doing next. And I think this is a really good way of learning Shotokan karate. As I said, it's about building blocks. I've previously said this many times before. and just layering stuff. If I show you the combination straight away, the majority of you, if not all of you, are going to have your brains fried and won't know what we're doing. We then overload the brain and we become very confused and despondent with our technique, and because we don't know what we're doing, and therefore we tend to give up really early. So I believe the best way to teach is to teach in stages that are learnable. I'm not sure if that's even a word, but actually are then able to be able to improve each time. So we'll move to technique 3 now. Okay, some of you I think will have worked this out already. So Agiyuki, step back each. So you step back on the block and obviously step forward on the punch. Not always obviously, but that's it. Come back, reset. Look, step back, Soto Ryuki, step forward, Oizuki. Reset. Reset is here. Okay, look, going this way, step back, Uchiyuki, Oizuki, and back, reset. Okay. Holly's woken up, but she looks like she's in some kind of trance, so I'm not sure what's going on there. And now she's turned away in disgust. Okay, no, she's sat down to watch again. Okay, so once more, to the front, yoi position, remember those shoulders relaxed, Agiyuki each. There goes Holly. Step forward and punch, knee, and reset. Look to your left, step back, Soto Ryuki each, and Oizuki knee. Come back to the front, reset. Look to your right, slide back with the left leg, inside block Uchiyuki, Oizuki, center line, and Yamai, back to the front, reset. Well, that's weird. I've got about a 20-second delay on my other camera, so that's completely confusing me. I'm not going to bother looking at that. I tend to only look at it to read your messages, so I'm sorry if I'm a bit delayed in doing that, because they're coming up way after you've probably written them, or maybe before, I don't know. So the focus here needs to be each time where we're attacking or defending ourselves, so down that centre line, the Yenbusun. Okay, the technique itself, so Agiyuki, Oizuki, okay, the shoulders, the hip position, where we're hammy for the block and we're central for the punches, the stance, the movement of the stance, the wind direction, and you can see that there's a ridiculous amount of things to focus on. Now, it's impossible in one lesson or even 1 month or 1 year to focus on all those things. So my advice to you when you're training is just find one thing that works for you. And if tonight it's just a case of getting this combination completed, brilliant. Okay, for the higher grades it might be that you find the combination quite easy. Not that we've ever done this before, because we haven't, but actually you then might start be doing like me. You might be focusing on maybe your hips or maybe your shoulders or your centre line, and so everybody's journey will be individual to us. Okay. So me, I'm currently really kind of conscious about the line of my body. So in terms of these being relaxed, okay, this being relaxed so it's able to function. So for me, it's very much about aligning my body. So I'm very much into biomechanics at the moment, says the man who's put his back out and hamstringing this whole last 3 or 4 months. But trying to understand my body more so that sort of issue becomes less. Too many years of forcing my body into positions that it probably should have been during karate lessons, okay, particularly in stances, old school teaching as I would call it, not helpful to our bodies, or certainly not mine. Okay, so once more, Agiyuki ichi, Oizuki ni, and reset. Look, Soto Ryuki ichi, Oizuki ni. Reset. Uchiyuki ichi, Oizuki ni. Now again on space you might be like me, I'm having to really shorten my stances purely because that wooden table I'm so far yet to hit, I'm trying not to, and I still don't want to go in the dog's food bowl. So just be the stance is not so much, not so long. Okay, so hayoi. So Agiyuki ichi, Oizuki ni. I reset. Look, ichi, Soto Ryuki ni. Reset. uchiuki ich, oizuki ni. Reset. Gidanbarai ich, oizuki ni. Reset. Okay, so that's the fourth and final element of this. So the 4 blocks, agyuki, sotoruki, uchiuki, gidanbarai, with an oizuki. Okay, and really the idea of the oizuki instead of maybe a different technique is about learning to transition between stances. So going backwards and forwards. Quite often in a kumite match, okay, and I can't do this tonight because I'm going to ping my leg again, but you would step back and then counter to go forwards. Or you would go forwards and then maybe the other way around. So it's about learning how to understand your body. Okay, taisabaki, body movement, is an important part of karate. Okay, too low, too static is not good. Okay, so too upright, too fast, too flicky is also no good. So we need to find balance between everything we do. Okay, so once more, agyuki ich, oizuki ni. Reset. Sotoruki ich, oizuki ni. Reset. Ochiuki ich, oizuki ni. Reset. Gidanbarai ich, oizuki ni. And reset. And ready. Okay, so whichever way you remember this, it's your way, not my way. But I'm going front, left, right, behind, in my head. Okay, you will think of this as how you want to and how you remember it. The blocks you always step back, the punches you always step forwards. Quite simple, okay, but not simple to do, I do understand that. So right, os. Agyuki ich, oizuki ni. Ayu, reset. Looking, sotoruki ich, oizuki ni. Reset. Looking, uchiuki ich, oizuki ni. And back. More difficult to do. Look, gidanbarai ich, oizuki ni. And reset. And bow. Now, that is one way. There is always another way. So bow, yoi. Change legs. Change legs. So before, step back right leg, migi. This time step back left leg. Does it make it harder? Yes. Does it make it impossible? No. So step by step. First of all, yoi position, agyuki ich, and ni. And back. Agyuki ich, and ni. And back. Agyuki ich, and oizuki ni. And back. Okay? So if you think of where we were before, our right leg went back, our right leg stepped forward, we came up. Our right leg went back, our right leg stepped forward, we came back. Our left leg went back, our left leg went forwards, we came back. Our left leg went back, our left leg went forwards. So if you can think of that as a way of working out how to do this correctly, then that may be helpful to you as well. So we're doing 2 right legs first, 2 left legs second. So again, it's just different things that come to my mind that you might be naturally doing. But if I'm able to point them out to you, then that might be helping you learn, I think, maybe in some sort of strange way. So us. So opposite leg again. So left leg back, ich, ni. Come up, look. Left leg back, ich. Left leg forwards, ni. Do you see? Do you see how that starts to work together now that we know that first of all it was right leg twice and left leg twice. Now it's left leg twice and right leg twice. So I probably am confusing you, but I hope I'm giving you some insight into how you can teach yourself. You don't need us all the time. to learn. So now we continue. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much time on this other side. For me, it's natural, but I want to move forward to make sure that we could create all of our techniques tonight. So agyuki ich, left leg back, ni, left leg forwards. Come back up, reset. Look first, left leg back, sotoryuki, oizuki, reset. So now we're going to move our right leg. Look to the left, inside block, uchuki, oizuki, reset. Look over our shoulder, right leg back, gidan barai, oizuki, reset. Okay, so it's about being flexible in your head as much as your body. Yeah, so don't say can't do. Can try, keep trying, try another way, find another way, look another way, do another way, be another way. So all of those different things. I think the trouble is with particularly people who do karates, I think we're our own worst enemy. We tend to beat ourselves up a great deal. And the reason for that is that karate, more than any other sort of martial art or pastime, hobby, sport, etc., makes you look directly at yourself. It's as if you're looking at a mirror image the whole time. When you're in a football team, you have the team. So if you don't score a goal, you can blame the bad pass, okay, or a great goalkeeper. You have all sorts of different elements that you can blame. When you do karate, nothing on this earth you can blame apart from yourself, and that's what we do. That's what we do. We tend to overplay techniques, bad katas, bad fights, etc. in kumite. Too much so. So try not to anyway, as much as you can. So set one, or phase one. Okay, do it from the first side, okay, which is known as the right side, and then I'll do it the left side as well, all the way through slow speed so you can follow. Okay, not talking, just doing, so you can follow. So what's the word? I'll do it slow speed all the way through, and then I'll change sides to do the other side, I think, as well, slow speed, and then I'll yame. So you'll see both sides pretty much one after the other. Okay. Here. Okay, so that's both sides done. I hope that makes sense. I think I'm going to have to start wearing an Alice band or get a bandana. Maybe I need a proper Daniel-san bandana. I need a haircut, that's for sure. So hopefully you haven't found that too difficult. This is a very slow-paced lesson tonight, obviously, because you're all helping me to protect my hamstring, so I can start teaching properly again in hopefully a week or two's time. So we're now going to go to phase two. So we're going to add in a different technique. Okay, nothing too complicated, and in fact, really, it just flows, naturally flows. Okay, so the combination is going to be still the same. So it's the 4 blocks. Okay, we're going to focus on those all evening, and then we're going to put in additional punches on this particular phase. Okay, so I promised you no kicks this evening. Us. So phase one, so we're going back to, phase one, phase two, part one. Goodness me, this sounds terrible, isn't it, the way I've explained that. So this, the second phase starts the same, Agyuki, but this time Jodan punch, Oizuki, Yakuzuki, come back. Okay, lock, Oizuki, Yakuzuki, come back. And then we move to the second part, third and fourth purpose. So you're changing now, instead of doing an Agyuki with an Oizuki Chudan, okay, you're changing to Oizuki Jodan, followed immediately with a Gyakuzuki Chudan. Okay, so changing in height here. And what we're doing there is just adding in changes to elements of change to our learning, to make the brain refire, reconnect. You know, we might start to, particularly as juniors, they learn very quickly, they get bored quickly as well, so we have to then re-engage the brain with something new to think about. So that's where the change of height comes in, first of all, and the change of an additional technique. Change of first technique and additional technique as a second technique. So I hope that kind of makes sense. The brain learns really well if we keep feeding it techniques in karate. So that's the way to teach. That's my belief. Okay, so ich, Agyuki ni, Oizuki Jodan, Gyakuzuki Chudan. Remember your embusun here and your embusun here. So Jodan, Chudan. Hand back. Once more. Agyuki ich, Oizuki ni, and Gyakuzuki san. And back to the reset here. Boss. Probably should just use the word yoi, okay, rather than reset, because yoi just means ready position, and we're coming back to that natural position. So I'll try to change my terminology to get it correct for you. So, part one, ich, ni, yoi, look, ich, ni, yoi. Once more, from the beginning. Ich, yoi. Look. And yoi. I hope those punches aren't going out. I know they're going out shot. But, yeah, you can't really see the Jodan Chudan, but you know what I'm doing. Hopefully you can see some of these punches. Didn't quite work out the distance that I required to do this correctly. So my apologies that they're slightly going out of camera shot. I don't like doing that, but I'm sure you can work this out. Okay, so once more. Ich. Ni. Back to yoi each time, just to refocus, reconfigure the brain. Where am I going next? What am I doing next? Yeah. Ultimately, in terms of karate, our journey from sort of beginner through the different grades is that we think a great deal to start with. We think about everything we're doing. We're constantly thinking. Then we get to black belt, okay, and then we think differently. So we start to think differently. And more intelligently, maybe, because experience builds that thought. Okay, so we keep thinking. Then we get to sort of third dan, and we stop thinking, and we just start doing, and things become very natural, and you don't think a great deal of technique, and you just do things. Things become very, very natural, because at that point you've probably been training around about sort of 20 years. Most third dans have been training for at least that kind of period of time, and that kind of experience, and it is just time that separates us, is what enables us to do that. Remember, the only difference between a white belt and myself, okay, is approximately 30 years. That's it. It's just time. I'm no better than they are. Okay, if you put me back in as a white belt, I wouldn't be any better than another white belt. I'd be pretty much worse. I guarantee you that. But what's happened is, over time, I've learned different ways of learning and building experience and knowledge, and that doesn't stop in karate as long as you don't stop training. That's how we improve. That's how we improve. Okay, so great. Let's move on to part 3 of this particular combination. So number 1, Agyuki, ich, Oizuki Jodan, and Gyakuzuki Chudan. Come back, yoi, look, ich, ni, yoi, ich, and yamai, back to the yoi position. Ich, ni, san, yoi, ich, ni, san, yoi, ich, ni, san, yoi. Okay, so obviously the next technique then is the Gidan Barai now, so behind us, and we're doing a Jodan or Izuki again, followed by the Chudan Gyakuzuki. So again, by repetition of these techniques, although we're changing the blocks, okay, which is making our brain think a little bit harder each time to make sure we get that correct order, we know the punches now should flow more naturally, okay, because they are the same, they're repetitive, and we've done them quite a few times now, and as I said, time builds experience, makes us think less, makes it easier. That's the great plan. Okay, so all four. Agyuki first. Ich. Oizuki. Ich. Gyakuzuki. Ni. Yoi position. Looking. Sotoryuki. Ich. Oizuki. Ich. Gyakuzuki. Ni. Yoi position. Look, Uchiuki, Ich, Oizuki, Ni, Gyakuzuki, San, and back to Yoi position. Looking first, downward block, Ich, Oizuki, Ni, Gyakuzuki, San, and turn. Please remember that when we're doing these techniques in terms of the hip position, okay, when we do the first block, Agyuki, our hips are hammy, half facing. So when we do Oizuki Jodan, we bring our hip back the other way. Okay, so here to put it in for the Gyakuzuki. So then to be able to put it in for the Gyakuzuki. And that's really only because we're doing those two techniques together. Otherwise, here, we can square this off straight away. But because we've got the additional technique and we want to make that combination work, this will give us a little bit more distance on our punch. Okay, so drawing that hip back gives me a little bit more kime as well, so it can be very good and sets me up nicely for the second technique. So sometimes we may say something and then we will adapt it, adjust it to make it work for such a situation. So a singular punch we do one way, putting the double punch on it we do another way. But both are correct, and they may contradict each other slightly, but both are correct. Hips work in different ways. Hips don't always work in, they work just as well out. So yin and yang working together. If you don't know what yin and yang is and you do martial arts, that's a little bit concerning, so ask your parents, Google it. You'll find a lovely looking Chinese symbol and you'll start to read about it and understand it. Okay, of course. Think of good and bad, think of beautiful and ugly. Think of smart and not so smart. Opposites. Balance. Okay, so first of all, number one, Ich. Number two, look first. Number three, look first. Number four, look first. And back. Okay, so same four blocks, same techniques repeated. Oizuki Gyakuzuki, Oizuki Gyakuzuki, Oizuki Gyakuzuki, and finally Oizuki Gyakuzuki. Okay, remember where we started and remember where we've got to. Okay, so we started. Yuki, Oizuki, Sotoryuki, Oizuki, Uchiuki, Oizuki, Gidan Barai, Oizuki. And now, Yuki, Oizuki, Gyakuzuki, Sotoryuki, Oizuki Gyakuzuki, Uchiuki, Oizuki Gyakuzuki, Gidan Barai, Oizuki Gyakuzuki. Hurry, of course. You can see we've come a long way in half an hour. In 30 minutes of learning, okay, you will be doing this, I'm sure, as good as, if not better than me. We've never done this before. I've never done this before, okay? I promise you, in all of my time doing karate, I made this up for 5 minutes before the lesson. I always do that when I do Moxu. That's how my best lessons work. You'll be the judge of that, I'm sure. But you've come a long way. And we're not finished. We're not finished. We have a third phase to do, okay, to make this even more enjoyable and make our brains work even harder. When we've done this hour's worth of training, our brains will be full of stuff, okay, and you will be slightly probably tired, even though this is not a physical lesson at all, but your learning will be immense, okay. Not all of it will stick tomorrow morning or even in 10 minutes time after the lesson, but bits will work. Okay, just quickly looking at the screen. Good evening, Ashley. How are you? Ashley will answer those now. Good evening, Dylan. Dylan's got a t-shirt with yin and yang on it. Good boy. Well done. Good evening, Sensei Raoul from Belgium. Us. Hope you're well. Nice to see you. Okay, so we will do now phase 2 again on the opposite side. So opposite side. Okay, so remember where and how have you learnt this evening? Okay, remember we're doing this together. I'm learning, you're learning, hopefully together. But how are you remembering it? Anyway. Okay. So opposite side then. So Agyuki each, Oizuki, Jodan Shudan, and back. So remember we're looking the opposite way now. Looking, Sotoryoki, Oizuki, Gyakuzuki, and back. So now that means we're looking this way. Uchiuki, Oizuki, Gyakuzuki, and back. Looking behind. Gidanbarai, Oizuki, Gyakuzuki, come back. So remember, I've never done this before, and you've never done this before. I made this up at 5 minutes to 7. In fact, I'm not going to lie, I completed the third phase 1 minute before we started. So this is very much a learning experience for me and for you. And if you hopefully agree with me, it's working quite well. But we're not there yet. We've got to do the last bit, the best bit in my opinion, okay, which is the third and final phase. Now we're adding in more techniques, so it generally becomes more difficult. So therefore, you know, be mindful of the brain being stretched too far too soon. So you might find this a little bit more complicated. I don't think it's that bad. I try to do a lesson that's available to all of our grades right the way through. Remember, our lowest grade is not graded yet, okay, and our highest grade other than me is a 5th dan. So there's a big variation there, 30 years. So we need to make sure I need to make sure that when I teach you that the lessons are achievable, approachable for everybody, as much as I can. So hopefully phase 3 will be exciting for the more senior grades maybe. Awesome. Okay, so it's not really much more complicated, but I've just put an additional technique really to make it a bit more fruity, in my opinion, and a change of arms. Because I think that makes the brain again reconnect and think, whoa, that was a shock to the system. It's like another electric volt that's just gone through the body. So I'll just quickly demonstrate part 1 of this phase then. So we're still using the same block, so it's Agyuki, this time a Gyakuzuki. Okay, then we change arms. Oizuki, Gyakuzuki. Okay, so we have to change the arms, otherwise we can't put the Oizuki in and we can't do the Gyakuzuki. So back again. So same block, and then we did the Oizuki, Gyakuzuki previously. This time the additional parts are a Gyakuzuki and a change of arms. Okay, that's simply it, a Gyakuzuki change of arms. So we're not putting too much, I think, on the brain, too much emphasis on the brain, but we are making it reconfigure. We're making it think extra punch, extra move, change arms. Okay, if you don't change your arms, you can't do Oizuki. You'll be doing Gyakuzuki, Oizuki, which is wrong in this context. So do it nice and slow so everybody can follow. Yoi position, Agyuki, Gyakuzuki. So hand me, get half face into square hips. Come back with that hand as you move. Change. Hand me, Gyakuzuki, and back. Once more. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if I say so myself, I think that flows quite nicely. Of course. And that is what we're going to do on the other 3 sides, okay? Is do the block Gyakuzuki, then step through, change the arms, Oizuki Gyakuzuki. Okay, so that's all we're doing. And when I say it that way, it sounds like it's really, really simple and it sounds like it's really, really easy. I guarantee that it is not. and I assure you that you're probably struggling at home a little bit, or you might be finding it ridiculously easy, because some people's brains work that way. But the people that find it easy might find doing the techniques difficult, okay? They might find the relaxation part of it difficult, the transition of moves difficult. What one person finds easy, another one finds impossible, okay? What one person finds impossible, another one finds easy. Nothing in karate is impossible. Everything is possible, I promise you, as long as you try. And that's all you need to do. Gambate, which is a Japanese word for do your best. That's all we ever ask. Okay, so phase 3, number 1. Okay, so ich, Agyuki Gyakuzuki, Oizuki Gyakuzuki, come up. Look, Sotoryuki Gyakuzuki, Oizuki Gyakuzuki, and back. Okay, of course. Still with me? Hope you haven't gone, hope you've not gone to bed yet, or got bored. Hopefully I've reinvigorated your brain and got you into this final phase. So ich, knee. Remember to change those arms. Look. Yeah, look. You must look the direction of travel that you're going in karate always. So, second phase, look. So here, Sotori Gyakuzuki. Change arms, Oizuki Gyakuzuki. Back, Yoi. So, right. Once more, we move on to phase 3 now, so Uchiyuki technique. Okay, so Agyuki first, ich, Gyakuzuki ni, san, shi, remember the change of arms. Yoi, look, Sotoryuki Gyakuzuki, Oizuki Gyakuzuki, and back. Look, Ochuki Gyakuzuki, Oizuki Gyakuzuki. Once more. Agyuki Gyakuzuki, Oizuki Gyakuzuki. Look, Sotoryuki Gyakuzuki, Oizuki Gyakuzuki. Look, Uchiyuki Gyakuzuki, Oizuki Gyakuzuki, and yami. And ready. Okay, so hopefully you're still with me, hopefully you're still trying at least. Okay, if you get your arms muddled up, if you get your legs muddled up, it really, really doesn't matter. Ultimately, if you're doing Sotoryuki or Uchiyuki, Gidanbarai Agyuki, and Gyakuzuki at some point, and Noizuki at another point, you're doing really, really well. So well done. Okay, and we continue now, we'll do part 4 of this one, of the final phase, and then we'll reverse it, we'll do the opposite side, because it's important to focus on that. And then what we'll do is we'll go through all 3 phases, both sides, to finish the lesson. And that will really mess you up, but hopefully good fun. Okay, so to finish this one off, finish this 3rd and final phase. Number 1, Agyuki, Gyakuzuki, Oizuki, Gyakuzuki. Come back, Yoi, look. Sotoryuki Gyakuzuki, Oizuki Gyakuzuki. Come back, look. Uchiyuki Gyakuzuki, Oizuki Gyakuzuki, and back. Look. Gidanbarai Gyakuzuki, Oizuki Kiai, and back. Us. Don't know about you, but I think that's great. And it feels good. Feels good. Have to be honest. 2 nights ago I didn't think I was going to do this lesson. I thought I'd be sitting in an armchair and talking to you about all sorts of rubbish things about karate, because I didn't think I was in any fit position. But I did a little bit of training on I think it was Sunday morning, did some more videos for the beginners Shotokan karate series, and no kicks, and felt a lot better, so I'm really pleased that I've been able to teach this evening. Okay, so once more we'll go through that again, all 4. So right, Yoi, and ich, Yoi, look. So we started with 2 techniques. Okay. We then went from 2 techniques to 3 techniques. And then we went from 3 techniques to 4 techniques with also a change of arm. All in a period of 42 minutes. Quite impressive, I think. Okay. So if you put those combinations together, okay, so if you've got two techniques in the first one, okay, so you times 2 by 4, that's 8. 3 by 4 in the second phase, that's 12. 8 plus 12 is 20. And the final phase, you've got 4 techniques, times 4 is 16. 20 plus 16 is 36. That's a 36 move kata in 42 minutes. Impressive. I think well done. You should give yourselves a round of applause. Don't pat yourself on the back unless you're really flexible. But it's actually quite astounding how much we can take on board. Okay. And it might not be perfectly right. I understand that. It's not a problem. But it could just show you what we can do if we have a go. So we're going to do all of these together. We're going to do the right side and we're going to do the left side and try to complete them all before we finish this evening with a bow. And some, hopefully, I'm going to give you some good news, which you will have seen, but maybe not, I don't know. Okay, so ready? Okay, so phase 1, followed by phase 2, followed by phase 3. We'll do right side and then the left side, straight after of each one. Okay, so we're going to go all the way through. We're going to do it nice and slow speed. Okay, I'll help you as much as I can. Okay, so, right? You just do your best. Okay, so phase 1. So, Agyuki, ich, oizuki, ni, iya. A yoi position. Each time, think of that yoi as a reset. Look, sotoryuki oizuki, iya, and back. Look, ochiuki oizuki, iya, and back. Hangarambarai, look, a oizuki, iya, and back. Okay, so change sides now, change sides. And ich, iya. Look. Iya. Look. Iya. Look. Iya. Os. Phase 2. Agyuki, oizuki, gyakuzuki. Look. Sotoryuki, oizuki, gyakuzuki. Yoi. Look. Ochiuki, oizuki, gyakuzuki. Yoi. Look. Gidanbarai, oizuki, jodan, gyakuzuki. Yeah. And back. Phase 2, left side, hidari. Ich. So, ich. Ni. San. Shi. Iya. Hey, os. Phase 2. And now finally, phase 3. Os. Ich. Agyuki, gyakuzuki, oizuki, gyakuzuki, yoi. Look. Os. Sotoryuki, gyakuzuki, oizuki, gyakuzuki, yoi. Look. Ochiuki, gyakuzuki, oizuki, gyakuzuki, yoi. Look. Gidanbarai, gyakuzuki, oizuki, gyakuzuki. Yeah, Kihon point there, and yame. I think there was a satellite delay with my Kihon there, apologies. And next side, left hidari side, ich. And good. 56 minutes, and we've learnt all of those moves. Quite incredible, I think, actually. I'm quite impressed with myself because I've never done that before, never taught that before, and I think it went okay because I haven't torn anything out on my body, so that's always a positive. Okay. When you become an instructor, you constantly have to try to figure ways of reinventing techniques that you've learned to make them interesting for students, whether they be juniors and whether they be 10th Qs or 5th Dans. So that's what I try to do. I try to stretch my own mind and learning and teaching, because I always learn from everything I do, and likewise hoping to make it interesting and good for you as well, as a student of karate, to learn. So that's the whole thing. I'm not an instructor that just repeats the same thing every single week. I don't have any issue with that. I think that's great. But for me, myself, I like to learn whilst I'm doing things as well. I think that's really, really important. So I hope you understand that this is as much for me as it is for you. I get as much out of this as you do, I'm sure. And we learn off each other. So remember, your feedback's really important. If you like this lesson, if you found this lesson difficult, be keen to know. Saying hi sensei every week is great, but feedback is really good. Is there something you want us to do that we haven't done yet? Is there a kata you want to learn? That sort of thing. Just be mindful of my hamstring for the next 2 weeks, so minimal kicking would be helpful. But I would be very keen to hear some of your thoughts, etc., on where you would maybe like these Tuesday and Thursday lessons to go. If not, then I'll start re-going over some of the things we've done before, but maybe in a slightly different way. Or sometimes I will just repeat a lesson if I think it's required. What's really difficult at the moment is I don't have the feedback I have from your lessons. So when we see you as instructors every week in, week out, we know that maybe we need to redo something the following week, or we need to revisit it 6 weeks later before we're grading. I'm not getting that. I'm not getting anything. I'm just getting a couple of really nice, very pleasant comments. Thank you for those. But I hope you understand. So for the moment, I'm feeding you. Maybe feed me back. Yeah, you're not going to upset me if you say it was rubbish, sensei. It will make me re-evaluate as to what we should be teaching, etc. I'm sorry that I've not been healthy, physically wise, for the last, well, probably best going on 6 or 7 weeks now, hasn't it? And so I pulled my back and then did my leg. So I will get better. Just takes time. So I hope you understand that. I'm doing a lot of karate, which I think is good, but maybe my body's not quite keeping up with it as it should be. But you know, I'm an old man now. Last thing that I want to say before we finish with the Dojo-kun is I've put the date out there for the beach training. Now the beach training is changing this year because of COVID-19, but the great news is that everybody now can come. Okay, so all of our students can come, whereas previously we've only ever allowed higher grade juniors, being black belts in other words, and the adults. This time we're not going down in a minibus, because normally I share driving with Jonathan and we take turns to drive the minibus down and one drives back. But this year we can't do that because of social distancing, and no one would let me have a minibus, to be perfectly honest. So we're going to, if you want to go, it'll be a case of you or your parents driving you to Holcombe Beach. It's about an hour and a half, 2 hour journey depending on where you quite are. If you're in Potton, it's about an hour and a half. It's a really nice drive, and when you get there, it is one of the most stunning beaches, I think, in the British Isles. It's utterly beautiful. I spent ages researching beaches before I found the one that I thought was going to be appropriate for our karate needs. Having trained in Sardinia on a pure white sand beach, which was an incredible experience I'll never forget, I found a better version in England, and that is Holcombe Beach. So it's really, really good. Oh, somebody phoning. Hopefully it's the lottery people telling me I've won. So really, really be good if you could join us. I do appreciate these are difficult times. I do appreciate you may not wish to travel that far, and I do appreciate that getting there is not going to be necessarily as easy for everybody, and we can't share lifts. Unless things change. Between now and September, I think it's the 13th, I can't remember what day it was, I think it was the 13th. Unless things change, we will have to get our own way down there. So I will give you more details nearer the time, but I thought it would be important to nail a date down and push towards that. It looks very much like, unfortunately, the June grading is out the window because it will be very soon, and unfortunately we are not going to be able to use the halls. So I'm sorry about that. That is nothing I can do about it. The September grading though at the end of September is still very much, we've got wishful thinking that will happen. Okay, that's our positive mindset, is that we're going to get through this whole thing and get back in the dojos and get people to where they need to go. So I hope you bear with us. I hope you keep training with us. I hope you keep training at home, etc., and taking part. Please look at our website. Please look at our YouTube channel. Please look at the Facebook page. I put things on there almost daily, as much as I can. If you want to share anything with me that you don't mind me sharing with others, photographs, if you want a birthday shout, then that's great. There's all different sorts of things that we can do to kind of keep together as a karate community and have a lot of fun with as well. So I hope this evening finds you well. I hope you enjoyed that lesson. I really did. I didn't think I was going to because of the injuries that I've had, but I'm really pleased that it went okay. And I will see you on Thursday. Let's finish with the Dojo-kun. Dojo-kun. 一つ循環空間性に定めたこと。一つ誠の道を守ること。一つ努力の精神に養うこと。一つ礼儀を重んじること。一つ敵の良いましむること。And os. Os. Thank you very much. Thank you for your kind words on the screen. I do see them and I read them afterwards as soon as these lessons finished and as soon as I start uploading the video, etc. Your support is always really appreciated. You won't know how much until I see you again, I think. But let's just say it really is appreciated. So please keep with us. Hopefully look forward to seeing you all at the beach. That might be our first session together. I am still looking at some holidays to see if I can find somewhere for us to train safely. So, you know, keep my fingers crossed. If we can find an outdoor place that is safe, accessible for everybody, with good parking, then I'd be very pleased to know. And maybe we can start to train together. Thanks very much. おやすみなさい。